things first, before we can establish what values are, we need to establish what they are not. Values are not goals. Goals are things that you can obtain while you're living the life you want to live according to your values. But goals are concrete, achievable events or achievable situations or objects that you can obtain. They can be completed, they can be possessed, or they can be finished. Values guide the direction that we take in our lives, and goals are not the same as directions. If goals are confused with direction, once they've been achieved, then progress is going to just stop. Sometimes living a values-based lifestyle intended to promote effective behaviour change will feel really uncomfortable. It means sitting with emotions that we would normally run away from. Values are also so much more than the words that we use to describe them. This is why the metaphor I used for living the life I want to live about driving the bus that's called our life can be extremely helpful. It has the potential to give us the necessary insight for the primary reasons that values are so important in the way we live our lives. So in the interest of continuing this metaphor, mainly to help us build some more insights, imagine that you're on your bus traveling through a large flat valley with many gravel roads. All around you in the distance there's mountains and hills and trees, and in the more immediate area there's things like ponds and shrubs and maybe some rocks and streams. Your bus is equipped with a compass and you've got to choose a direction in which you're going to go. So you say to yourself, I think I'm going to go east. You look at the compass and you turn your bus in that general direction. You see a road ahead. It isn't perfectly due east, but it kind of leads you in that general direction. So you move your bus forward. You come to the end of the road and you're presented with a couple of alternative routes. You study these alternatives and go forward once again, more or less in an easterly direction. Now, this is where we come across a few significant and kind of rhetorical questions. When you travel in this way, when do you actually arrive at east? How will you know when you've reached east? And when is the destination called east finally finished? When have you gone as far east as you possibly can? The answer to these questions is actually quite simple. In life, we never really arrive at east. Regardless of what destinations we reach and what obstacles get in our way, there's always more east for us to travel. Our values are exactly the same in that we can never truly achieve our true core values. We can and will accomplish things as a result of living according to them, but when this happens, we continue in the same direction, being the person that we want to be. In the past, when I achieved things while I was living a life that compromised my values, these achievements held no true meaning for me. Yes, I celebrated these things in the same way as I always did, as great personal accomplishments, but they were tainted by a sense of guilt and shame for the way in which I'd actually arrived at this particular destination. In many ways, throughout this metaphorical picture that we're painting, values are like verbs and adverbs, not nouns or adjectives. Values are something you do or a quality of something that you do. They're not something that you have. When you understand values as something that you do or the quality of something that you do, they are actually never ending. You're never finished. For example, let's suppose that one of your values is honesty and you believe that you should not tell lies to the people in your life. This doesn't mean that as soon as you've told the truth to someone when questioned about your actions that you are done with honesty, in the same way that you can be done with building a house or be done with earning a college degree. There is more honesty to do, always. Honesty is the direction. It's not an object that you can possess or obtain. Personally, I found it helpful when establishing my values to know that descriptively they exist as single words, and in my experience, most people have a set of values that sit at the core of their system that seem to be generic across the general population that I've been exposed to. These values are like the roots of a tree. They spread out into many other values and they generate the beliefs by which we function each day. We're going to discuss the nature of these core values later in this process, but for now, I want to work from the principle that all 5 of these values are held throughout the passage of time. They never really shift, regardless of our experiences. The things that can and definitely do change are the authentic core beliefs about the way we actually live these values. So, what exactly are they? The thing to remember is that this list is in no particular order of importance, as the hierarchy of these values can change depending on the specific situations that we find ourselves in. For example, if someone asks me to tell the truth, I value honesty. So as such, I want to tell the truth so that I can live the life I want to live. At the same time, it's really clear in the imaginary situation that I'm describing that telling the truth puts me or someone that I care about in some kind of physical danger. In circumstances like this, the value of safety outdoes the value of honesty inside my hierarchy of values, and so I'm going to avoid telling the truth and still stick to my authentic self and my true core values. Remember to keep in mind that these are not the only values we have. This is simply where we start the conversation. There are many other values that can spawn out of these 5. For example, underneath the value of respect, you may also value kindness and compassion and love and humility. So start by asking yourself what each one of these 5 core values means to you. If you were looking at a person who was exhibiting each one in their behaviours, what would you see them doing? This can look very different for each person, as it's usually based on the way you were raised, your cultural background, your family of origin, or the type of media that you were exposed to as a child, and many other things. On the website page that's connected to this video, I'll leave a link in the description below. You're going to find a worksheet that contains a list of the 5 core values and a series of short questions that helps you to explore each one. If it's possible, download this PDF and take your time to work through it. See if you can write a few sentences about what each one truly means to you and you alone. Try to be as specific as you can about how you see each one. Try not to write what you think other people would want you to write. Be true to your own thoughts about each one of these values. Remember, nobody has the right to tell you how to feel about these things. It's entirely your choice on what this looks like for you. Guys, if you like this exercise and you take a look around my YouTube channel or go through the pages of my website, you're going to find a lot more videos and handouts that expand on this and many other subjects to do with living the life you want to live. If you want to know more, come join our live online conversations every week. I'll drop some links in the description below. And as always, if you like the content of this video, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment and smash that like button. Turn on those notifications for all the latest from me and the Liberation Place. I hope this video gave you some insight for how you can change those behaviours that you're trying to change. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Take care, be safe and be well.